Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation, with an update to my tubular journey. The 1964 uncirculated silver Kennedy half dollar. Silver at any price. Well, that's quite a strong statement to make, considering where the price of silver has been since 2011 and how much it has fallen. But in reality, if you think about it, should we be accumulating silver at any price, no matter what it is, if it goes up or down? And a lot of people in the community talk about how, well, I'm waiting for the price of silver to go down before I make any big purchases. And that is quite understandable, and it very well could go down, even though we've seen it kind of climb up a bit over the last few months for a myriad of reasons. In fact, I paid $6 each for these Kennedy halves, where in prior purchases I've been able to pick these up for $5 or $5.50. So why would I pay any price for these? Well, I think it's because of a sort of a paradigm shift in thinking on how we value silver. You know, many of us in the community understand the true value of silver. And in order to really understand that value of silver, sometimes you have to ignore price, depending on the circumstance or situation. Because no one can really predict where the markets are going to be from one time or next. But nonetheless, if there's a time when silver does go up and it stays up for quite a while, well, that's the going rate for silver. Same thing with the gold to silver ratio. So what does it mean when I would pay silver at any price for such a goal as this? You know, my goal is to fill this tube. I'm just over halfway there, as you can see, and we're going to add 2 more here, but I paid a little extra for these than I normally have in the past because the spot price of silver has gone up, and those are current market conditions. And, you know, it's one of those things where it just depends on the person. It depends on the goal. And for those of us who do have a goal setting, well, hey, you can take advantage of a low price, and I did that in a prior video where I picked up quite a few more of these than the usual 1 or 2. But in this time, in this case, I'm going ahead and paying it no matter really what the price is, because my goal is to fill this up. And I know that I've protected myself, and that the lower cost for the prior half dollars here will basically all average out in the end, because we understand silver really is money, and it just may be worth a little bit more in terms of price, but really, us holding on to these and filling this tube up, we're meeting a goal that really transcends price. And that's the kind of thinking that goes involved with things like this. You know, and it's the kind of thing that, as a stacker, especially considering the importance of the Kennedy half dollar, the many different benefits of having this coin as a part of your stacking criteria here. In other words, you know, people pick up generic bullion, American Eagles, but the Kennedy half dollar is a wonderful coin to get because you can get these things for pretty much a fixed price over spot, and they are in pristine condition. There are so many of these that you can find uncirculated pieces for pretty much the same price that you can most other constitutional silver. And that's what I've done here. And so I can fill this tube up with not much of a price over spot, and I know that I'm going to be protected by the intrinsic value of these. As to the reflection of price, well, you know, it's only worth what it is when you sell it, and that goes both ways. And so when you do come to a point where the price does go up, well, you just buy less of them. And I had really wanted to get 3 or maybe even 4 for this tubular journey, but it just wasn't in the cards. Other things came up and the like, and if you are fulfilling a goal, especially as a pure stacker, well, you know, you have to budget your yourself, and then you may have only been able to get one. And if the price of this particular coin were to go up, and let's say that a bunch of these had melted down or whatever, and these start to acquire some numismatic value, well, if you want to fill a tube, you have to stick with your goal, or you should stick with your goal for the most part. I believe that if you're going to find something like this where you have a tube or some other set stage goal, you should do what you can to try to fulfill that goal regardless, because I think you're going to be better off in the long run for it, even if the prices may be ridiculously high. Let's say this thing doubled in cost, and it was $12 or $13 per coin. There was a time when that would have been the case. Well, I would have only been able to get one of these for a time. And that's okay. You're getting closer and you're fulfilling that goal. It just may be a slower way to go. And that's what I mean by silver at any price. By any stretch, should we not put any stress on ourselves to try to accumulate these things without meeting our other financial obligations. But I do feel silver especially is a type of metal that you can acquire. And at times when the price is low, well, you can acquire more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at a time if you're on a limited budget. If the price is high, well, you get a little bit less. And in this case, 50-cent movement or so, or $1 movement per coin is really not that much in the grand scheme of things. But I'm thinking of this in terms of a relatively limited budget. And it's a way to fulfill goals and to acquire silver as if from a pure stacker standpoint. If you're a collector, it's a completely different thing because, if you're accumulating a set for a particular grade or style, then you're going to need to work towards it, and this might take you a little bit longer to do it. And in that way, in some sense, it is similar. We're stacking weight to fill this tube up, and it's taking some time to do it. And every little bit counts. And you save up to get one coin. You have a financial obligation. There's a couple of different ways where silver at any price may mean different things to different people. For those with a very limited budget, one of these costing $4 would be quite a lot of money. And they may just be able to do one at a time. They may be able to only do one per paycheck, let's say. And let's say it goes up to $5. They may have to wait for another paycheck to do another one and bank the next amount towards the next coin in the following pay cycle. That's the kind of thing you have to think about when accumulating these. But Kennedy half dollar is such a great way to accumulate silver, and you're getting the full weight of these in wonderful condition. It's a beautiful coin and a way to accumulate silver and be able to preserve its intrinsic value and stacking it up. And who knows, in time some of these may be melted down and they could become more valuable in time. But I think we're a long way off. That's highly speculative that would occur. But nonetheless, the 1964 Kennedy is quite unique, and it's a way that people on a budget can accumulate and stack these half dollars in these rolls at a time, really no matter what happens. And if the price goes down, that's the other aspect too people need to think about. And in a prior video, again, I accumulated, more than the average, more than the usual, because I had a little extra money and they were cheaper. And so you take advantage to try to get there quicker. But you try to do that without breaking your bank in order to bank up on silver. And that's the thing to really keep in mind there. You don't want to overstretch yourself. You want to understand and keep your financial obligations in order, because this is a savings account, but it's not as easily liquidated as an actual cash savings account where you can just pull money out or, transfer from one account to another online. This is a physical asset. You've got it. You hold it. So there you go. So 2 more Kennedy half dollars added to the stack at any price. And this just so happens to be a price that was just a little bit higher than their prior price. But think of it in terms of the value you're getting as opposed to the price, even if that price goes back down. I think that helps to keep things in perspective, and it will help you as you begin or engage and continue your tubular journey. So there we go. We are now well over half. In fact, I would say we're probably 3/4 of the way there. So multitude of gratitude, y'all, for watching. And I want to encourage y'all to please rate, comment, and subscribe.